Question 543. Chapter 61J2 of the Florida Administration Code contains the FREX regulations for license holders in Florida. These regulations are based on which portion of the Florida statutes? Answer: Chapter 120 deals with the procedural side of the application process for all licensees overseen by Florida agencies. Question 544. Which of these people is eligible for mutual recognition in Florida? Answer: someone from Alabama would be an example. Question 545. Tony applied for a sales associate license and was rejected. How many days does he have to request a formal hearing? Answer: 21 days. Question 546. Laura has submitted her application to be a sales associate. She wants to know how long the FREC has to contact her about errors in her application. Where in the Florida statutes should she look for that information? Answer: Chapter 120. Question 547. Belinda is a sales associate applicant who has recently had her application rejected. She wants to appeal. Where is she most likely to find the rules and deadlines for that appeal process? Answer: Chapter 120. FS. Question 548. How many members make up the Florida Real Estate Commission? Answer: 7 members, 4 brokers, 1 broker or sales associate, and 2 unlicensed members. 1 member of the 7 must be over 60. Question 549. Oliver failed to renew his sales associate license 20 months ago. What is his status, and what can he do to get his license reinstated? Answer: his status is involuntary inactive, and to reinstate he would need to take 28 hours of continuing education. Question 550. Sarah has an active sales associate license that is set to expire in a few months. She is also in the Army and going on active duty. When does she need to renew her license? Answer: Sarah does not need to renew until 2 years after her discharge from service. Question 551. Zach Araya got her first sales associate license on June 3, 2020. What will her license expiration date? Answer: March 31st, 2022. Question 552. After 2 years, an involuntary inactive license does what? Answer: it becomes void and you must retake the course. Question 553. The 2 essential components for the creation of an agency are consent and control. True or false? Answer: that is true. Question 554. Which of these people is least likely to end up in an implied agency relationship with sales associate Leslie? The answer would be Matt, a prospect Leslie met this morning. Question 556. Implied agency is a form of accidental agency. True or false? The answer is true. Which of the following statements best describes agency by ratification? Answer: when an agent takes action outside of what they were authorized to do, but it is accepted after the fact. Broker Casey entered into a single agent relationship with Jane to sell her 13-acre ranch. He did not provide her with a written brokerage relationship disclosure. Was that an error on his part? Answer: no, because the ranch was a non-residential deal. It was 10 acres, over 10 acres. Question 559. What does the use of designated sales associates provide in a non-residential in-house transaction that is illegal in Florida for residents in an in-house transaction? The answer: to offer fiduciary representation to both sides of a party. Question 560. What are per se violations? The answer: they are acts that are considered inherently illegal. Question 561. If an active broker leaves an office vacant, it must be filled within how many days? The answer, 14 calendar days. Question 562. The DBPR can choose to designate certain violations as appropriate for an informal process conducted by neutral third parties to settle the complaint. What is this informal process called? The answer is mediation. Question 563. The DBPR has filed a formal complaint against Marcel. Marcel does not want to go through the hearing process, but he also doesn't want to opt for voluntary relinquishment for permanent revocation. What is a good option for Marcel? Answer: Marcel should try to settle. Remember that the subject of the complaint and their legal counsel, if they have counsel, can meet with a division of the real estate attorney to see if settlement is an option. If they agree to settle, they can enter into a stipulation which states the agreed upon facts of the case and a penalty. Question 564. What are the three possible outcomes of the deliberations of a probable cause panel? The answer: the three possible outcomes of the deliberations of a probable cause panel are 1. No probable cause and case is dismissed. 2. No probable cause and a reprimand is sent. 3. Probable cause and a formal administrative complaint is filed. Question 566. What is a stay of enforcement? The answer: a stay of enforcement is when a licensee will file for a stay of enforcement to ensure that the final order against them is not implemented until their appeal is over. Question 567. Melissa, a sales associate, is under investigation by the DBPR for practicing real estate without a license. Does the DBPR have to notify Melissa of the investigation? Answer: during an investigation, the DBPR will give the subject of the investigation or their attorney a copy of the complaint. The subject can then give a written response within 20 days of receiving it. However, the DBPR does not have to notify the subject of an investigation if the violation is a criminal offense. Practicing real estate without a license is a third-degree felony. Question 568. What is the maximum amount the recovery fund can pay out for claims arising from one transaction? Answer: $50,000. Question 569. What is the maximum amount the recovery fund can pay out for claims against one licensee? Answer: $150,000. Question 570. Michael is a real estate instructor. He does not give his students a syllabus or tell them when tests will be. When the FREC finds out, what are they likely to do? The answer: Michael has violated subsection 61J2, failure to inform students of course standards and requirements. This will earn him a notice of noncompliance. Question 571. Alan received a judgment against a broker, $5,000 compensatory damages, $4,000 punitive damage, and $3,000 in court costs and attorney fees. Alan made a claim to the recovery fund, which was accepted. At maximum, how much money will Alan receive from the fund? The answer: Alan can receive a maximum of $5,000 from the fund. Remember, the recovery fund only reimburses for compensatory damages. It does not reimburse for punitive damage, court costs, attorney fees, or interest. Question 572. Which property sale does the Fair Housing Act not cover? A. A retail spot in the mall. B. An undeveloped tract of land that will be used for mixed purpose. C. A condominium. Or D. A residential property. The answer is B. An undeveloped tract of land. The Fair Housing Act does not cover non-dwelling buildings. It would apply to a mixed development, retail and commercial and residential, as part of the space would be considered a dwelling. Question 573. Which act requires developers engaged in the interstate sale or leasing of 100 or more units to file a statement of record and register with the subdivision with the CFPB? The answer: the Interstate and Land Sales Full Disclosure Act. The U.S. Congress passed the Interstate Land Sales Full Disclosure Act in 1968. The law requires developers engaged in the interstate sale or leasing of 100 or more lots to file a statement of record and register the subdivision with the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau. Question 574. Jennifer wants to revoke her contract and receive a refund of any monies paid to date. It has been 9 days since the signing of the contract. Can Jennifer do so? Answer: no. Jennifer cannot revoke the contract because the cooling off period is 7 days. Question 575. Greg, a real estate agent, is selling his condo. He wants to sell it to a family that doesn't have small children. Is his decision legal? Answer: exemptions to the Fair Housing Act do not apply to real estate agents. License holders should be aware that their participation in the process may negate the exception. Question 576. Sal, who is not a real estate license holder, owns 4 single-family homes which he rents out. Does he have to abide by the Fair Housing Act? Answer: the sale or rental of single-family residence is not bound by the Act, provided that the property owner does not own or own any interest in more than 3 single-family residences at one time, or no discriminatory advertising is used, and the owner cannot be a broker, associate, salesperson, or any person in the business of selling or renting dwellings. Question 577. Sales associate Eric collects rent from an apartment complex. He must what? Answer: give the funds to his broker by the end of the next business day. Question 578. A tenant moves out of her apartment. She has left the apartment in great shape, so the landlord intends to return her entire security deposit. The landlord needs to return the security deposit within how many days? Answer: 15 days. Question 579. What is blockbusting? The answer: blockbusting is a business practice in the United States in which real estate agents and building developers convinced white residents in a particular area to sell property at below market price. This was achieved by fear-mongering the homeowners, telling them that racial minorities would soon be moving into their neighborhoods. Question 580. Does someone currently addicted to opioids meet the criteria for disability? The answer: no. Current drug users are not considered disabled under federal law. The other people in the answer choices are considered disabled. Question 581. What are all of the protected classes under the Fair Housing Act? The answer: familial status, color, race, national origin, sex, disability, and religion. Question 582. How long does the tenant have to file an objection to the landlord's claim on a security deposit? Answer: 15 days. Question 583. Is it legal for a Florida landlord, if he places all of the security deposits he collects into his business account, he posts a surety bond which covers the total amount of deposits? The answer is yes. This is a legal practice under the Florida Residential Landlord Act.